In this video, I will be looking at both IELTS Speaking Part 1 and the pre-test introduction, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the like button if you like this video. Please share this video with your friends who are interested in taking the IELTS exam. Here are some of the things I will be covering. Firstly, I will tell you what happens in the pre-test introduction. Secondly, we are going to discuss about the common topics for IELTS Speaking Part 1. And then we are going to talk about mistakes to avoid. And lastly, there are 7 methods for developing your answers. Before the test starts, you will have a brief conversation with the examiner as they introduce themselves, confirm who you are, and check your identity. The questions they will ask you here are the pre-test questions, and they aren't marked, but they are your first chance to make a good impression. Don't forget to smile, and don't be put off if the examiner doesn't seem so friendly. Perhaps they have just listened to 20 previous candidates with such poor pronunciation that they could barely understand them. With the pre-test introduction complete, the actual test will start and you will be marked on everything you say from now on. Let's talk about the key facts about IELTS Speaking Part 1. The time will be 4 to 5 minutes. Questions are related to you and your life. The common topics can be about your home, your family, your work or study, your hometown, your likes or dislikes, and your interests. So let's talk about the mistakes to avoid in Part 1. Ensure you don't make these common mistakes. Don't give short answers, don't give very long answers, don't memorize answers, and don't overthink answers. Don't freeze if you get unusual questions. The examiner wants you to hear you talk, so giving single word or very short answers to the questions isn't going to give you many marks. On the other hand, don't ramble on and on. They have around 12 questions to ask you in 4 to 5 minutes. If you spend 2 of those minutes answering a simple question, for example, where you live, there won't be time for all the questions and you will miss out on some of the marks. There is a key point in IELTS Speaking Part 1. Your answers should be 2 to 3 sentences long. What you should do instead of memorizing answers is that to learn good ideas and reasons to explain more. Your fluency will also suffer if you overthink your answers. The examiner isn't trying to discover how intelligent you are or whether you can devise clever answers. They just want to hear you speak. Answer their questions using appropriate language and they will be happy. What does sometimes through candidates in IELTS Speaking Part 1 is getting an unusual random question such as what do you think of robots? These types of questions seem so strange that they can stop candidates in their tracks. They either stumble or stutter over their words or literally freeze if they can't think what to say. Firstly, it doesn't matter what you say as long as you say something. Secondly, it's fine to say that the subject is something you have never thought about. Say this, then just give the best answer you can come up with. So with our robot question, you might come up with an answer like, they aren't something I have ever thought much about. But it would be great to have one that did the housework and cooked dinner occasionally. The main thing is not to panic if an unusual question comes up. Developing your answers. Giving the correct length answers is very important. Tell me which of these answers to this question is the best. Do you like music? Ali says, yes I do. On the other hand, Jack says, most definitely. I go to lots of live gigs as I've got a friend who is in a band. At home, I like to relax to classical music. Both Ali and Jack have answered the question, but Jack's answer is clearly the better one as it's longer and shows off her ability to communicate well in English. Ali's answer gives the examiner very little to assess her on. A great rule to follow. Answer the question, add an extra piece of information. This extra information could be an added detail or background information. If you do this, you won't go far wrong. Let's take a look at an IELTS Speaking Part 1 question, but this time you tell me which one is the best. Have you visited any foreign countries? Answer number 1. Yes, I have visited two foreign countries, the UK and Egypt. My favorite foreign country was the UK because it's so different to my own country. Another country I want to visit is France. Let's take a look at answer number 2. Yes, I have been abroad a couple of times, first to the UK, then to Egypt. I particularly enjoyed the UK because it's so different to my own country. I'd also love to travel to France. Which one do you think is better? You guessed it right. Answer number 2 is better. Why? Let me tell you that both versions answer the question, but answer 1 repeats the verb to visit and the words foreign and countries, as you can see, all of which are in the question several times, so you should avoid repeating the words in the question. In answer number 2, the question has been paraphrased with the synonym abroad and to travel to. Take a moment to really focus on these differences. Also compare the language used to express which country was their favorite. The final sentence about where the speaker would like to visit next is not strictly necessary, but in context with the question, it is fine. It also enables the speaker to use the future tense. Are you ready to practice again? So this time again, you tell me which answer is the best. Here is the question. How long have you been learning English? Jack says, I began studying English at school when I was just 6 years old and I have been working on my language skills ever since. I'm 27 now, so I have been an English student for 21 years. On the other hand, Ali says, I have wanted to learn English since I was very young. Luckily, I had a good teacher at the school who made the lessons really interesting. I enjoyed English so much that I decided to keep learning when I left. Which one do you think is better? Just take a look at both of them. As you guessed it, Jack gave the best answer. He answers the question and shows good language skills and paraphrases the question well. Ali also has a good command of the English language, but he doesn't actually answer the question. This will lose him marks. Don't make these mistakes. In IELTS Speaking Part 1, the examiner will be looking for a good range of vocabulary and grammatical structure. Developing your answers in different ways will ensure that you impress them with your language skills. Here are 7 ways that you can use to extend your answers. Explanation, combined details, examples, frequency, contrast, past comparisons, future. In the following examples, we are going to work with one question and look at 7 different ways of developing an extended answer to it. I'm not going to worry too much about paraphrasing the question in the answers as I want to focus on other aspects of sentence structure. So, here's the question. How often do you socialize with friends? A simple answer can be like this. I socialize with my friends several times a week. Well, actually, this is a very simple answer. So let's take a look at other methods of using better answers. The first method is explanation. The easiest way to add extra information to a simple answer is to include an explanation. Connective words like because are ideal for this. I socialize with friends most evenings after work because I live on my own, which often gets me down. Going out with friends or having them around means that I don't feel so lonely. The second method is combined details. Another simple way to extend your answer is to join two pieces of information with the word and. During the week, I generally meet up with friends 2 evenings after work, and on Saturday, I go shopping with my friend. Sundays, I save for seeing my family. Examples. A great way to develop your answers in IELTS Speaking Part 1 is to add an example. I usually see my closest friends several times a week. Like this week, I'm meeting my best friend for a drink this evening. Then we are going to the cinema with some girls from work on Friday, and on Saturday we are all meeting up at a party. Frequency. Words expressing frequency are invaluable for developing answers. Common words include always, usually, normally, generally, often, frequently, sometimes, occasionally, seldom, hardly ever, rarely, never. So this is how we can extend our answer. I normally see friends most days of the week, especially my best friend who I generally catch up with after work. At the weekends, a group of us often go to the park to play football or chill out. Contrast. Connectives that express contrast are equally useful for extending answers. For example, but, although, however, even though, despite, while. I try to meet up with friends several times a week, but rarely on a Sunday because that's when I visit my family. However, every few months, I cook a barbecue Sunday lunch and invite both my friends and family around. Past comparisons. Sometimes in IELTS Speaking Part 1, you will want to compare the present situation to what happened in the past. The phrase used to is very useful here. I used to socialize with my friends every day, but I don't see them so often now. This is because I have a baby and can't go out in the evening so much. We probably meet up just a few times a month now. And the last method is using future tense. There will be times when you want to make a comparison between what happens now and what you think will happen in the future, or what you want or intend to do in the future. Currently, I hardly see my friends at all as I spend all my spare time studying for my IELTS exam. When I pass the exam, I will meet up with my mates most evenings like I used to do and spend weekends with them as well. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with your friends who are interested in taking the IELTS exam and click the like button if you like this video. Thank you very much.